that's right. We're right here, Sharp Fastest Gallery this afternoon, live. Yes, we are. It's 4:10 in the afternoon. How you doing, everybody? You know, we've got a new neighbor down here on this end of the bypass. It's the Restore for Habitat for Humanity. And, you know, it is such a good place to find all types of building supplies and all this kind of good stuff. It's really great. But one of the things they're always needing is more donations. Hard to believe, but they need more donations. And we're here to talk with their Restore manager, Steve Crawford, this afternoon, and find out a little bit more about the Restore at Habitat for Humanity. So, Steve Crawford, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful this afternoon.
That's great. That's great. So, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Abbeville, South Carolina, born and raised.
Right up the road here, then.
Right up the road.
I think, were you supposed to say Abbeville?
Abbeville. Yes.
I think that's what I've heard, yeah. So you have graduated from Abbeville, then you worked in the textile industry.
I worked in textile now for about more than 16 years. Weaver and a knitter in those different facilities and textiles.
Wow. Well, you know, it really is sad when we look at the fact that the textiles are so minuscule now compared to what they once were.
Yes, yes.
And that makes it difficult, doesn't it, when it comes to jobs, particularly for our area, because we had so many people that were textile-oriented people.
Yes, and it is very sad to see that the economy went down to the downslide, and especially in the textile arena. And a lot of people depend on these jobs, but you know, God is good, so He continues to open doors.
Well, we have had the opportunity to have some good businesses coming in. We got Colgate, Palmolive coming in, and I guess one of the biggest things that people need to do now is get some education to be able to go more for these high-tech manufacturing jobs than what we had, what shall we say, in the old days?
In the old days, yes.
You used to be able to graduate from high school and then go right into a job with the textiles. Doesn't happen that way anymore, does it?
It doesn't happen that way no more. Now they require more than a 4-year education, you know, to get a basic, you know, honest living job.
Sure. So what do you do? You are the manager up there, but you also do something else, I understand.
Yes, I am a pastor of Second Chance Restoration Outreach Ministry in Abbeville. The name of our ministry is, of course, Second Chance Restoration Outreach Ministry. We believe in being the hands and eyes of God, building upon, expounding upon relationship with our Creator and our Maker.
Second Chance. I bet you have a large church.
Yes, we do.
You meet at the Civic Center over there.
We meet at the Civic Center, yes, ma'am. That's every Sunday at 11 o'clock. We do, you know, praise and worship, devotional, and then we get into the Word. But after the Word, we fellowship each Sunday as far as breaking the physical food as well as too.
That's nice. That's very nice. That's very nice. Now, you also have worked with Second Chance that helps people getting out of prison, right?
Yes, we have, and we thank the Lord for that opportunity. It is actually a 10-bedroom facility where those individuals who was incarcerated but released but found themselves in the chaos of trying to get their foot back into society, to where we bring them in. We're a 501 nonprofit organization in the state of South Carolina. We just continue to move forward to allow God to use it in such ways that He would see fit.
So you help 10. You can help up to 10 people at a time?
Yes, up to 10 people at a time.
Now, the people that are in this program that come, they are maybe on probation, they've gotten out of prison, and they're trying to put their life back on track.
Yes, these individuals, they're some of them on probation, some are not on probation, but right now we're dealing with non-violent and non-sex offenders individuals.
So, okay. I mean, is that one of the rules of your organization?
Yes, that's one of the rules as we go through the 3-tier process as far as having someone to come in after they've been released from incarceration.
Sure. Now, what are the things that people that are just getting out of prison need?
Some of the things they need basically are just basic identification, Social Security cards, medical attention as far as the free clinic and to that nature right there. And some maybe perhaps want to go back to school and get their GED, and then maybe later on to a technical school or 4-year college. So we want to assist in those areas to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to the ability with our facility.
Well, that's you're to be commended for that. That's quite an undertaking. That is. And now, how long does somebody stay in the program?
We ask for a requirement for a year, and even up to more than a year.
Wow, that's pretty long.
Yes, we find out that if someone come in for basically 90 days, that predominantly wouldn't have a good successful rate in those areas. So we want to ask for an extended stay to where you can, get comfortable in the field and see what direction God is calling you in, to where you can get some roots. You have to get some roots established. If not, the word said you'll be tossed and driven with the wind.
Okay. Well, hey, we are here with Steve Crawford. We're going to be talking about Habitat for Humanity, the restore over there. Don't you go away. We'll be right back. Oh, that's right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery. We're talking with Steve Crawford right here. Habitat for Humanity, the restore over there is right next to Ollie's. I guess everybody knows Ollie's, right?
Yes.
And right next to Smokehouse Barbecue. How'd you get that location?
Wow. This was blessed to be between the both of them.
I'm telling you, if you need something, you can run next door to Ollie's, and when you're hungry, you can go right next to barbecue there. The Smokehouse Barbecue, Christine Morton. Yep, she does they do a good job over there.
They do a wonderful job.
Does it ever get difficult being next door to them with the smell coming out of there?
I mean, the aroma, it would really draw you. And we'll have a lot of customers coming in. Well, I just left Smokehouse, and, did you bring me a plate? Maybe next time. So, we thank them for, their willingness to partnership, because the owner, Tony, he comes in a lot as well, too. And he just say, well, I just thank y'all for just coming in, because there's a lot of things that he had bought from the store as well, too.
Sure.
And to help build his business as well.
Now, years ago, you all used to be out on the bypass.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they moved down there by the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
So what brought this move into this nice location over here?
The expansion, we needed more room, and the yard sales that we would pack up and reload and so forth, and the increase in volume that people came out to support the ministry. And so it was a powerful move that we had opened. The door of opportunity was open, so we took upon that, and to be able to come back into the community to where others can come in, friendly environment to shop and support our ministry, as for us to go back and to pour back inside the community, building houses and education, and being part of paying the taxes here in Greenwood County.
Sure. One of the things you ought to have over there, I don't know, maybe you already do have it, is home repairs. How to do home repairs. So many people, and even, the people who end up getting the homes from Habitat for Humanity, you don't know how to do those simple repairs that we used to know how to do, but it's like people just don't do them anymore. We always have to call a plumber. We always have to call somebody. If they knew how to do just the simple things, think of how much money they could save themselves.
Wow. And we have construction manager Mike. He teaches them basically when they're working on the house and so forth, the small repair that you just said, as far as anything that come up, they will have their own hand, is where they're coming out doing their 500 sweat equity hours.
Yeah. 500 sweat equity.
Yes.
That's a good amount of hours.
It is, and then it shows to where, if you're committed and understand what this ministry is all about, that you're diligent, do your part in it to be a homeowner.
Sure. Absolutely. Owning a home is one of the biggest investments most people will make.
Yes.
In their lifetime.
Yes.
And I think it is terrific that Habitat is able to help people that probably would have no hope of ever getting a home to be able to have that home ownership.
And that's what Habitat stands for. Our mission is to seeking to put God love into action. That's what the Habitat stand by, for those who are less privileged to be able to have a home. It's not a hand out, but a hand up, to help you to understand that there's somebody there to help you to become a proud homeowner. So that's what we stand by.
Don't you think in society we've kind of lost some of that, Steve?
I think so, that we have really lost touch as far as why God created us and called us, to be His people, to share the love and to embrace and to help those who less than fortunate. And that's what Habitat stands by, And I just thank God, that He allowed me to be a part of this ministry, and I believe 100% in Habitat.
Well, I think that hand out, not a hand out.
Exactly.
That would do a lot towards helping our nation back to a healthy economy.
Definitely.
If we didn't believe that we should just keep giving and giving and giving and never helping people get the jobs or the skills to have the jobs.
Exactly, and that's the sad part about it when we see we're on the down scale. But you know, reality will set in, and hopefully and prayerfully that we would truly understand that no longer hand out, but hand up in all aspects of life. You know, and that Habitat can be, you know, one who's the forerunner, that people will catch on to understand what Habitat for Humanity is all about, and help partnership with us, as we say, as we go forth, you know, to build up healthy communities, to help educate, and to be able to let the people see inside the community that we are here. We stand to represent, you know, to help people to truly understand that there is help here in this community, and we're here, and along with other ministry that is doing the will that we're required to do by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Well, it's like United Ministries. It's like the Soup Kitchen. All these organizations do help.
Yes.
But there needs to be something coming back. And that's why the sweat equity on building your own home, that's why getting involved in these organizations is so helpful.
Yes, definitely. And just to be there at one of our home dedication, it is something that, you know, it is just so electrifying. It's something that will just take you, and you just rejoice to see these individuals who have become a proud homeowner. You know, they just giving thanks and understand that they had hands-on to put that sheetrock up, to paint or whatever it is that, you know, a part of those.
It makes you appreciate what you're living in.
Very much so. Very much so. Yes.
Most of us have never done things like that, so it's the idea. Yeah, it's a house. Okay. Right.
It. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I wish that our country would look at the fact that we need to help people, give them the tools to be able to do the job, not do the job for them. It would make a big difference, I think, in our society.
And I agree with you 100%. Amen.
Thank you. But, you know, one of the things that you, of course, with being at the Restore, since you are the Restore manager, I understand things are going great over there.
Things are going great. Things are going great. And like I said, we just thank God for the opportunity to be able to be there, be here, you know, on 72, you know, on
It's a great location.
The location is super. We couldn't ask for a better location. And to see people coming, you know, sometimes before we open, we see people online standing out, just can't wait to get in, you know.
God, you guys are doing something better than I'm doing. I barely have that at Sharp Facet's Gallery. Wow. Sometimes we do before 10 o'clock, but most of the time, no, they're not waiting to get in the door. But now, I understand you also are in need of product, though, because you're selling it so fast.
We are. As soon as we get donations come in, you know, they sell. And not only that, but we have customers coming in and say, well, do you have this in? Do you have that in? And what we do, we take their name and we'll take their number, and when we get it in, we say, well, we have it here on location, you know, and you know, they come in, they buy it. But as soon as we get the donations in, they go just like that, because there's a great need. There's a great need, dire need. The donation that we're in need of desperately now is appliances, stoves, refrigerators, furniture, sofas, you know, end tables, lamps, you know, televisions.
You know, it just shows the change in the economy, doesn't it?
Yes, it
because
does.
I can remember when y'all were over on 25, right? There was stuff that just seemed to sit there forever.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, but it was a different economy.
It was definitely a different economy. Yes.
And so it sure is good. But now you need these things. So the store is open Thursday and Friday, 9 to 5:30.
Correct.
And I guess people are lining up on Thursday. I guess the best day to get there is Thursday morning, right?
Yes, Thursday morning, definitely.
Y'all come in early and have your coffee and get prepared?
Yes, basically we get there in time between 8 and 8:30 in the morning to be prepared.
Wow.
Yes.
So you you have Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday 9 to 1, and you have this great facility over there. You need stoves, refrigerator, furniture, and dishes. Now, I do understand you don't accept mattresses and computers, and what about clothing?
We don't take clothing, but if someone was to donate some donation item and they had clothes with it, of course we would take the clothing. We have partnership along with the Labor of Love. We get clothing. What we do, we take those clothes and we take them to them, because we want to build that relationship But we don't accept clothing. But as I said, though, if the clothing came with it, we won't destroy them, we won't throw them away, but we'll take them and take them to the proper facility.
Okay.
And we do not also take mattresses well either.
Yeah, that's a problem. Mattresses are a problem, aren't they?
They are
Because
a
when you
large
got to
problem.
get rid of them, they're a problem.
They are a problem. Yes.
So you don't take that. And what about computers? You don't take computers?
We don't take computer. We found out that, you know, a lot of times it's hard to sell computers because of the hard drive and information in there, you know, and so.
And probably most of the ones you get are older.
Yes.
Everybody's into the new stuff.
Everybody's into the new stuff, the latest technology.
Exactly. Well, that sounds good. And then you'd have to dispose of them, right?
Yes.
And then that's a cost, isn't it?
That is the cost.
There you go. All right. So, but the restore. Now, Steve, what is your telephone number over there?
Our telephone number is 864-450-9146.
Okay. So that's 864-450-9146. And I guess y'all have a website too, don't you?
We do. Our website is restore at greenwoodhabitat.org.
Okay. So you can, now do you put pictures of things you have on there or just general information?
Basically, Jennifer, we have pictures as well too, and we also have taken out an ad with Greenwood Today as well too. So if you look on Greenwood Today, you can see some of the things that we had on stock when we first opened up, and we'll change periodically as the donation come in to whereby you can search the web and see the things that we have came in.
That sounds great. Hey, I tell you what, it's time for South Carolina News, a word from our sponsors. I'm Ann Eller. Today we're talking with Habitat for Humanity Restore, the manager, Steve Crawford. We'll be back after the news.
Are you a pirate or a pack rat? Do you have a vacation of a lifetime sitting in the attic? Or a college tuition hung on a wall? Or is a fabulous retirement hidden in your jewelry box? Bring those items to Sharp Facets Gallery. We can establish value and buy from you or sell for you. And so ends another chapter at Sharp Facets Gallery, 72 Bypass, and on the web, sharpfacets.com.
That's right. We're having a philosophy conversation over here, Steve and I are, about what it takes to run a business. What it takes to run a business. You know, just like in your home, it takes so much to run a business.
Definitely.
And I know, Steve, I'm sure you hear people coming in and they're saying, well, you didn't pay anything for it. They donated for it. Why can't you just do a lower price on it?
We have that. We have that a lot. But the way we set our system up is that we reduce the prices after 2 weeks. You know, we have it, you know.
So you're looking for that quick turn.
Yes, definitely.
So, but, and, you know, we were talking about the stoves and everything, and appliances. When somebody comes there, is it just a buyer beware, or do you know that this stove works and this refrigerator works?
Actually, we have some retired volunteers that work in that field as far as electrician, and we check everything out before we put on the floor. And also, too, just in case something may go wrong within the 7 business days you have bought it, we have a policy that you can return it back within 7 days along with your receipt, and we will reimburse your money.
Wow, that's pretty nice for a restore, a secondhand store. That's pretty darn nice.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you something. Could that organization over there, or Habitat in general, survive without all the volunteers you have working?
I really don't think so.
How many paid employees do we have?
Only paid employees we have is myself and the driver.
And the driver.
Yes.
Right, okay. So all the rest of it is volunteer labor.
All the rest of it is volunteer labor, and we're so grateful that we have I'll say a staff of volunteers that that give generous of their times and dedicated and wholehearted sold out for Habitat for Humanity, and understand this ministry and behind it, and just continue to give their all. We have Mr. and Mrs. Linda Petro. They're good. Miss Betty McKee, and her sister, and numbers of people that comes in, just to throw a couple names out there. But they are truly dedicated, and I thank them, because they understand what we're here for. They truly do.
And that is so necessary if we're going to give people a hand up.
Yes, that's right. Definitely.
So I understand when you get these things, you try to find out what it is you have too.
Exactly.
You do a little research. I know we have looked at some things for y'all and helped you out with if somebody had given jewelry or something.
Yes, definitely. we also too go on the web and check things out of that nature. And of course, like you said, we bring things down here for you and your husband to check out for us, and we thank you for that. And we just want to understand exactly what we have and what value it is. We don't want to overcharge people, but at the same token too, we don't want to just give it away because we have an overhead that we have to pay the bills. We have to make sure.
They didn't just give you that place for free down there?
Oh, definitely not. They expect that the rent be paid each month. They expect the light bill be paid, you know, and
then there's that business license and taxes and
definitely, yes. And on top of all that, you know, we want to be able to have something we can pull back into the community, you know, to help build the houses, to help, you know, to educate and to help build up the community as far as the taxes and so forth. So there's nothing free.
There's nothing free. Yeah, I understand that. So Habitat for Humanity, the Restore is open now. What are those hours for the store again?
Our hours are Thursday and Friday from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And on Saturday we're open at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Now, if somebody wants to give donations, can they just drop them off, or how does that work?
Yes, we're in the store Tuesday through Saturdays. Also, too, they can call us at 864-450-9146, or they may email us and so forth to that nature. But at any rate, you know, we accept donations Tuesday through Saturdays. And just so happen if we're not there on Monday, on Sundays and Monday, you can also drop your donation off in the back if you choose to do so, because we don't want to tell you we can't accept your donations on Sunday, we can't accept them on Monday because we're not there. But we wholeheartedly accept donation every day of the week.
Now, if somebody has a donation, should they bring it around back or during the week when you're closed Tuesday and Wednesday, or should they come to the front door?
Sure, they can bring them around to the back, but if they're, you know, maybe an elder person and can't get around too good, of course they can come to the front door and we will have someone to be able to assist them. If they need us to, we'll come out to the car and pick their donations up.
Okay. Now, what about if somebody has some things, and of course, like maybe they have a stove and a refrigerator, but they can't move them themselves? Do y'all pick up?
Yes, definitely. Our driver will gladly go out to the location. They just give us a phone call and give us the best date that they're available to us. You know, we work around their schedule, and we will come out and to pick up their donation. Also, too, their donations are tax deductible. We'll make sure they get a receipt where they can file off on their taxes at the end of the year if they choose to do so.
Sure, that's terrific. Well, you know, if you have a question for Steve here, you can give us a call, 229-7984. That's 229-7984. Now, let's see, how big a place do you have over there?
We have a facility, I forget exactly the square footage of it, but it's pretty large. It's pretty large.
Now, you also get things from building supply places, don't you? I mean, I've been in there when I've seen tile, and I've seen Formica and all this kind of good stuff. Wallpaper.
Yes, we do. And a lot of things we brought over from the yard sale items, but, you know, of course, we do still get donations from, we're trying to build a network of people, of business inside the community that can understand where we at, that you partner with us, that, you know, if they get damaged good, you know, you don't have to throw it away in the trash can, you know, bring it to the restore. We'll be glad to come by and pick it up.
Or you'll come pick it up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I work also to talk with Badcock over there, their partnership with us as well, too.
Badcock Furniture.
Parker's Furniture, their partnership with us as well, too. So all the businesses in the surrounding area, we ask that, you know, that you would understand exactly what Habitat for Humanity Ministry is all about, to where about you can be able to help partnership, to help build up this community, to help build healthy families in the community. We can cut down on the crime rates and so forth. Because I understand that, you know, if you got a nice home, you'll feel more better about yourself. So you'll be more eager to, you know, to graduate from school and go off to college and become a productive citizen. So when you think about Habitat for Humanity, you know, think in these areas, what you're giving back to the community as far as to help all of us come up together.
Sure, absolutely. So quite often then, things over there at Habitat could be brand new.
Sure.
How about that, brand new?
Yeah, we do get a lot of brand new items in. Some of the things are still inside the original content. The seal's not been broken.
Wow.
So, you know, we thank them for that, you know.
And so, and I know that, excuse me, I've been there where I've seen lovely front doors.
Sure.
screen doors. I mean, you know, you guys just have anything that you should want. You really should check out Habitat first before you go shopping in the brand new stores. Regardless, I think regardless, you should check it out. Yeah.
Please do stop by. You'll be amazed and surprised some of the items that we have there. And understand, I said, once we get them in, they go like hotcakes. So,
I saw the toilet in the front of the store, right there by the door when you come in. I saw the toilet right there. I mean, nothing could be more convenient.
Yeah, actually, that was a donation as I was getting ready to close on that Saturday. And he said, "Would I have this donation?" I said, "Sure." He said, "You have a minute?" I said, "By all means, I have a minute." Yeah, we would gladly accept your donation.
That's right. So there it went, right by the front door, right?
That's it.
That's pretty cool. All right, I'm Ann Eller. I am here with Steve Crawford. He is the manager of the Restore. And sometime after the first of the year, we're going to have your general manager come in and talk all about Habitat. Because, you know, I know, Steve, you know some about it, but you don't know all the ins and outs.
Don't know. Our executive manager, Director Chad Charles.
Right.
So
we'll come back and talk about that. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. All right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery on the 72 Bypass, having a great conversation with Steve Crawford. He is a pastor of Second Chances Restoration Outreach Ministries. You have your hands full right there, don't you?
I have my hand full. It is a good thing. It is a rewarding thing. It is so awesome.
You know, one of the things that you and I were just talking about was the fact that, in fact, we had a call on this, that they appreciated you saying a hand up, not a hand out.
That's what we stand by. We definitely don't want to give a hand out. We want to be able to give you a hand up so you can truly understand, you know, what it is and what it takes, you know, to be a successful homeowner, but not only that, but to maintain it. That's what we stand by.
Sure, and that's in all aspects of our lives. All aspects of our lives. And I think that as you and I were just talking off the air, I think that's one of the things that the government really doesn't get.
Yeah, I think they missed that point. I think they missed it.
Sure. When we were talking about food stamps, or SNAP as it's called, you know, and yet it used to be if you had to go on food stamps, thank God you had it.
That's it.
But you wanted to get off it because
as soon as possible.
Exactly. And now we don't seem to have that philosophy, and I think that's a shame.
It is a downright shame, you know, to find yourself stuck in that setting. And I feel myself is totally bondage, you know. And you know, as long as you stay in that setting, it'll be hard for you to come out of it. But if you don't take the initiative to move forward, then you'll find yourself right there. And not only you being there, but as your children grow up, they'll find themselves in that season of complacency. And so I think it's our duty to understand, to really, to give that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to educate, to encourage, and to motivate, and to bring about some type of understanding that, you can come about this thing.
That's what America was founded on.
Exactly.
So I sincerely hope that, I think there is a good group of people that understand that, and then there are those that need to see the other side, see what it is to be independent. It's a good thing.
It is. It is definitely a good thing. And it's so rewarding, that understand that you had a part as far as you coming up out of this thing, but not being dependent on the system, not being dependent on mama, dad, whoever it is that you just continue to sponge off of. Let's just be real about it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be real about it. I think you're right, Steve. So you have an excellent program over there, Second Chances Restoration Outreach Ministries. You also have the prison program over there for Second Chance. How does that work? How does that program? How do you feel the numbers come out over time?
The numbers.
The success rate.
The success rate. I would say from the past year that we dealt with, individuals that it's maybe 40, 50, and it fluctuate, but it's solely dependent upon the individual, where their goals at, do they have their head on straight, or are they still living in a time capsule, do they see themselves?
Time warp.
Exactly. That's it. do they see themselves, achieving these dreams and these visions that, that lay on the inside of them? But, you no longer want them to lay dormant inside you, but you want these things to manifest. And as you, pursue these things, in the integrity, understanding that you being truthful with yourself and understand that, I may have made some mistakes, but I don't have to stay here because God has got a purpose for my life. And so it's going to take my intuitive to understand that I can't do it alone, but there's someone who can help me along. That, with the Word of God to guide me and to pray and to understand that, I'm not all that I want to be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be. So as I keep that,
you can see progress.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah. I think we used to grow up that way.
Exactly.
Just like being in school when, there was the education side and there was the human side, shall we say. Yeah, exactly. Well, Habitat for Humanity does a lot of good things.
Yes, we do.
Now, you worked with them. Did you work with them before you actually got this job?
Yes, I've been Habitat now for right at 3 years, volunteered with the Home Selection Committee. So, we thank God for that opportunity. And being there, the first part of the pre-app, process. And just seeing people coming in and understanding, what this ministry is all about, and just having the application right there on the table along with 5 others there with me on the selection committee, and going through the screening, the process, and so forth. And then not only that, going out also for home visit. Also, just having them, to understand that they have to go through this process of 500 sweat equity hours to do. Also to the education side. Then, to understand that it is definitely a process, but where you are in the process is solely going to be to see whether you'll be a proud homeowner.
Sure. Now, let's see, you just had a dedication.
We did. Actually, we just had 2 dedications.
2, okay, right. So, I'm sure that makes the homeowner very excited when they actually get the keys and get to move in.
Yes, definitely. Just to see their faces light up and see the children rejoicing, and to see that, reality have really set in. Now I am a proud homeowner. And with Habitat for Humanity,
Do they get those houses for free?
Actually, they have to pay their mortgage. But,
a mortgage, real expenses. Okay.
But here's the thing, though.
Okay.
But it is 0%, as far as them paying interest on it.
Wow.
So that is truly a blessing right there.
Absolutely. So when you have, now what's the average cost of a Habitat for Humanity house?
The average cost, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, around about $80,000.
Around $80,000.
In that range.
Is that what they would get a mortgage for, or is that, how do you figure the price? I mean, I know I'm getting a little off subject here, but all the materials and everything are clocked into it, or?
Well, basically, now that part, as far as getting down to the details,
right?
As I said,
I know I gotta have him back.
My executive director, he will come in, he will come back. Yes, he will come back and he can have you the figures to that nature right there. But
sure.
Right now, I think that's a little bit out of my ballpark.
Okay, all right. I just was curious because I know a lot of people, they actually get a lot of the stuff donated to build the houses, don't they? And then you have, and this is a great way if you want to learn about home building to help out on a Habitat for Humanity project.
That's it. And like I said,
I mean, you've helped build houses, have you? Have you ever done that? No?
I haven't, but I took building construction up in school, but not actually going out on the work site to build houses. No, that
you
was
have
not my arena.
Stayed away from it, Steve.
Yes. But I do plan, later on in the future, to go out, and to volunteer, to hammer nail in, to pick up around the work site, to grab the paintbrush, to get more involved.
It's a great experience.
It is a great experience,
Sure.
to see those individuals, seeing the makeup of their houses, sheetrock by sheetrock, 2x4 by 2x4, a nail and a screw, it's just to see it, and understand that I had a hand in this. Sure. It's something that you have. It's
kind of like the old days when we used to have build houses as people moved out west, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing, really.
Same thing,
yeah.
Same thing.
And then they'd have a barn raising or something like that, and they'd come in a few days and raise a barn. We're back to
Yes.
the Wild West, but it's a great program. It is a great program. Habitat for Humanity, the Restore helps supply the necessary items. It's a place where you can take things. If you have done a building project, you have this extra stuff, you know you're not going to use it, you leave it sitting there in the garage, and every day you go by it and you go, darn it, why is that still here? Call them over there at the Restore. They would
Definitely.
be very happy to have the stuff that you used in a previous project, correct?
Definitely, yes, definitely. We will be more than welcome to come out and pick it up. Again, our number is 864-450-9146, and we will arrange a date that will fit your schedule. We will arrange a date to fit your schedule.
And the time.
And the time.
Now
And
that's
the
the
time.
issue, isn't
Yes,
it, sometimes,
yes,
the time.
The time. But again, we can't say it, even enough that we solicit your donations. We solicit your volunteers to come and corral around Habitat for Humanity, and let's build up healthy Greenwood.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That would be healthy, just like healthy neighborhoods, we
That's
need
it.
healthy Greenwood.
Amen.
There's a lot of good projects going on. So if you are getting a new stove, new refrigerator, furniture, dishes, any of that type
Definitely.
of stuff,
Mhm.
please call them over there. They're turning it over so fast they need more product. That's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. It is.
So give them a call over there. And if you're looking for good used products, you need to come over there. A lot of it is new, we found out here
Yes,
today.
yes.
Over there, Habitat for Humanity, the Restore, they are at a great location, right next to Ollie's, right next to Smokehouse Barbecue, right there in the, I guess we could call it the old Walmart shopping center. That's what we used to call it anyways. So go by there and check it out. Steve, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you with us here today to tell us more about what's going on over there. Make sure you stop by there. Thanks so much for coming out today.
Thank you, Miss Ann. We thank you for allowing us to come on and to be on the air to let people know that we are open. We are definitely open. We're back in the area of Greenwood, right in the Ollie Plaza, the Restore, Greenwood area Habitat Restore. And we thank you for all of our supporters.
That's right. You know, one of the good things about this, what a lot of people were very disappointed when you closed that store over on 25, and then you were having the yard sales like we talked about. So I know a lot of people are happy, and the more people that know about it are the more people that will be able to take advantage of the deals, but also have a place to send that stuff that you
Yes.
just don't want anymore.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Steve Crawford. He is the Restore manager. If you've got any questions, you can give him a call, 864-454-9146. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS right here in Greenwood. Bye-bye, everybody.